So, good morning, everyone, or hello, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Table and Plate Project Delta podcast. Each place has its own culture and vibe, and you're joining me, Dr. Ellen Harris, as I learn, explore, discover, experience, and talk about food and culture in the Mississippi Delta. Today, I have the pleasure of holding a conversation with Breanna Pennington. She is a mother with 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, and she is originally from Metcalfe, Mississippi. Breanna tells me that she kind of mistakenly got into gardening from one trip to Lowe's at the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020. She started with 2 plants, a blueberry and a strawberry plant, and everything blossomed from there. She now has roughly 30 feet of plants. Breanna has been a little modest with giving me her bio, but I know there's a whole lot to her food story that she's going to share with us today. Welcome, Breanna. To get us started, tell me a little bit more about you growing up in Metcalfe and being a mom to 3 children. I'd also like to hear about your journey as a certified lactation counselor. I had a long ago experience working for WIC when I was in graduate school. So when I saw that you were a certified lactation counselor, I got a little excited. So the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Breanna. I grew up in Metcalfe. I grew up in Metcalfe with my mom and my dad. Of course, majority of my family lived out there. I had a great childhood out there and adulthood because I just moved to Greenville 3 years ago.
Okay.
I had even though it's a small town, I had a lot to do out there. I grew up going to the Reading Seed after school, going to my grandmama's house, playing outside every weekend. And on the weekend, I would be with my dad. He was a truck driver.
Okay.
So, and he would haul grain and live fish sometimes and feed for farmers.
Okay.
So I would ride in the truck with him on the weekend. And that was my life in Metcalfe.
Okay. And so Metcalfe, Metcalfe kind of sits on the side of Greenville or something. I know I've been down that old Leland Road or whatever.
It's in between, if you know where Scott, Mississippi is, in between Scott and Greenville, Winterville, all those little bitty towns.
Okay.
If you're coming from Cleveland.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And you're a mom of 3 kids.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your family.
I have a daughter. She's almost 12. She'll be 12 in September. I have a 6-year-old. She turned 6 in January. That's the feisty one. And I have a baby boy. He's 1. So he's the only boy in the house.
Okay. All right. And so you have, you really planned that 6 years apart, practically.
It wasn't planned. I don't know how in the world it happened, but it happened.
Okay. All right. So, your experience as a certified lactation counselor, how did that come about, and what did you do?
With my second daughter, I breastfed her, and that's how I got into it. Because people tell you stuff is hard, and I realized it really wasn't that hard. So I started going to the health department, and I would go, every week to the program. I forgot what the program was called, but you would go every week to the breastfeeding class. And I had another CLC there. She approached me, asked me would I like to go to the class for a week, and I told her yeah. And so that's how I got into it.
Okay, all right. And what did your job entail?
My job was going from home to home, in Tallahatchie, Sunflower, Bolivar, and Washington County to underserved, underprivileged women, going into their
Uh-huh.
homes, and helping them with breastfeeding or anything else
Okay.
that they might need, getting them the resources in
Okay.
a small town.
Okay. Okay. And how long did you do that?
I did that for a year, and when the pandemic hit, we could no longer go into homes, so
Mm-hmm.
we were just working from home, calling them on the phone, and I didn't like that because it felt like you really weren't helping them.
Uh-huh.
Feel like half the time they wouldn't answer the phone, or they would answer the phone, they would rush you off the phone, so you really couldn't, like sitting in front of somebody, you really couldn't help them.
Right, right. Okay. Okay. So you put that on hold with the pandemic.
Yes, but I still get a ton of Facebook messages, so I still help through Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's commitment, and I applaud you for that. So now let's get to your garden. So I know all about going to Lowe's for one plant and leaving with way more than that. So tell me, give me your story about starting your garden and how you've come about it.
Um, and back in March, the very beginning of the pandemic, before everybody thought it wasn't that serious, we went to Lowe's for some bricks to edge off the front of the bushes in the front yard. And you have to pass the plants to get to the bricks. So as we were walking back to the register, I picked up a blueberry and a strawberry plant.
Uh-huh.
And my boyfriend was like, "You're not gonna do nothing with those. What you getting those plants for?" And I was like, "I'm finna get it to grow, just to have to eat." And
Hmm.
he he laughed, and we bought them. I killed him, of course. Didn't know where I was going. I, I didn't have enough drain holes. Well, I didn't have any drain holes in the pots they were in. And so
Uh-huh.
I basically drowned from all the
Oh,
wood I was putting on. And on top of that, I had them in the greenhouse in Mississippi in the summertime. So
right. So that was like a soda bath.
they were cooking in there.
Uh-huh.
And that was a disaster. But I kept in it. I started reading and I joined Facebook groups and saw what they were doing. So
Hmm.
about a month after that, that's when I added more stuff. I got a few corn seeds and some watermelon seeds. I think I had like 2 pepper plants to start with. I bought me some wood from Lowe's and that's when I only had 3 beds back there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I only had three. Three like 3x6s, raised bed. And from there it blossomed to me. Now it's 30 feet, about 8 beds back there, and I plan to add 2 more this year.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And you characterize your garden as by feet. Could you tell me, how that's come about and what that means?
I didn't originally I didn't want to dig the yard up. Um, I was just buying potting, not potting soil, but raised bed soil from Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
But that turned too expensive, so I still, squared off in the yard. But I just pull the grass up, dig the yard up. And
Okay.
it's better for me. I like the way it looks that way instead of
Mm-hmm.
putting rows in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it look in the boxes that I made.
Okay. Okay. And so when you so you don't have lumber squared off. You do whatever you need to do to create a bed from the ground per
Yeah,
se.
I mean, I still use the lumber to separate everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have them off the ground. You know how a real raised bed is like off the ground. I tried
Mm-hmm.
it, but everything died. because you have to fertilize it too much and water it too much because it dries very
Right.
fast.
Right.
So it's better for to have your stuff in the ground, so that way you can get the nutrients from the native soil. And
Okay.
you don't have to water it as much either, because the ground, if you stick your finger in most grounds, it's kind of moist under there.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so this feet measurement, where does that come from?
YouTube. YouTube. It was this gardener I found on YouTube, and I just mimicked him. He's from New Orleans, so I just
Uh-huh.
mimicked everything he did in his yard.
Uh-huh.
Because he was the only one I really liked the way it looked and it's simple. Most people make it too hard. They get all the little feeding tins that you get from Tractor Supply and stuff. That's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And
Uh-huh.
something simple and cheap to separate all my stuff.
Okay. And do you use any kind of apps to plan your garden?
Yes, I have one called Veggie Garden and Veggie Garden Planner. Then I have another one that is called it's pulling up. It's called Gardens.
Gardens?
Gardens. It's like a
Okay.
garden, another garden planner.
Okay.
Got it from the Apple iPhone app. But on
Uh-huh.
planners, you can basically plan your whole garden on there, and you can print it off. That way, you have something to go by and keep your notes on. And you also,
Okay.
it tells you when to plant everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have if you're starting off. I'm glad
Okay.
I found it because it keeps me on track.
Right, right, right. Okay, so that's where the 30 feet. So when your garden plan includes 30 feet of growing.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So when you first started off, okay, you had the blueberry and the strawberry plant, but then after that, you mentioned corn. You picked some hard things seem to grow at the very beginning. So you had corn and peppers.
Yes. Corn.
Is that
Because I really, in the beginning, I didn't really know what was hard and what wasn't. So I was
okay?
just buying
Okay.
seeds and buying plants. But it turned out it really wasn't that hard.
Uh-huh.
I had my corn in one and my peppers on the other side. And in the back, I had sunflowers. I had
Okay.
sunflowers.
I want to grow sunflowers this year. Yes.
Sunflowers are very easy. And last year, for the first time, I grew Russian mammoth sunflowers. The ones that get huge. When I think the tallest one I have maybe 10 feet.
What? Oh my goodness.
Maybe about 8 to 10 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
And the heads are huge on there.
So do you take the seeds and roast them?
We tried that the year before last year, but I didn't know at the time that some sunflower seeds you can't really eat because they're so small.
Uh-huh.
Like they didn't taste that well.
Okay.
Now the Russian sunflower seeds, they tasted better. And this year I'm going to try to get a variety that you actually do eat, like they have.
Right. Okay. So do you know what that variety is yet?
No, I don't know the name of them yet. I have the seeds outside, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay. Well, you let me know after.
Okay.
Because that's on my list of things to new things to start. I'm trying to do something new each year.
You're going to enjoy the sunflower.
Okay. All right. Yes, because they grow around here beautifully. And
behind my house, if you hit going on the Highway 80, Highway 1, like you going to Harlow, it's a field, a whole field of sunflower. I didn't know until I was passing through there one day. It's a whole
okay.
sunflower.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're beautiful to see. And I have a friend in Florida who grows them, and she's always posting on Facebook, so I said, I got to grow me some sunflowers. Yes, most definitely.
I put them on my TikTok page, and they were a hit on there.
Okay.
I post majority of my garden stuff on. Well, that's why I post all of my garden stuff on TikTok.
Okay. All right. So, are you doing, like fancy? I can't get with the TikTok.
It's not hard. I started TikTok. Actually, I had one of my Facebook friends tell me, you need to start TikTok. He was always like, you need to start TikTok. And I'm like, I don't want to be on no TikTok. I'm like, I don't want to record myself. And he was like, look, they're going to love it. You need to start your TikTok. So last year, I finally started. I think I started in May of last year. I started TikTok. So I had 2,000 followers, over 20,000 likes. And I turned out TikTok is very ridiculous. So if you start, you're not gonna get off TikTok.
Well, I'm gonna follow you, but I think I'm too old school for that. But
you don't have to really you just watch other people's stuff.
Okay, we'll see. So tell me about what you're growing.
This year, I want to designate a whole side just to sunflowers, like 3 beds just to sunflowers.
Okay.
I want to add one more grapevine plant. I have 2 now, and I want to add one.
And grapes? What kind of grapes are you growing?
The Concord grapes, the deep purple ones. They both have seeds in them. I don't do the seedless. But you can buy the seedless ones, but I prefer to have the ones with the seeds in them. They're sweet, very sweet.
Okay.
Strawberries, of course. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. I have 2 raspberries now. I want to add 2 more out there. But I'm going to dig them up and put them in pots instead because I need that space.
Okay.
And for the first time, I want to do ground cherries, loofah, and Jamaican sorrel.
Okay. All right. And so the loofahs you're gonna make the sponges from.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the sorrel
dry for the tea.
Okay. All right. Go ahead on. So what kind of vegetables are you growing?
Vegetable, it would be corn, the peppers, of course.
What kind of peppers?
Jalapeno, banana, and I want to try the colorful bell peppers this year. The tricolor.
Okay. Are they hot?
No, I don't. Hot as I'm gonna go with jalapeno. I cannot go good.
Girl, I grew these cayenne last year that were off the charts. They were delicious. Both my parents are from Louisiana, so I think I get that wanting spicy food from them. But the cayenne was great. In fact, I made a pepper sauce from previous jalapenos that I had grown like the year before last year, and I froze some of them and then cooked them down last year and added my cayenne. Oh my goodness. It was so good. But a friend of mine came over and she said, well, you got some hot sauce or something? And I said, well, I got this pepper sauce that I made. And I said, but be careful. And, and she plopped off. She was like, give me some water. It's too hot.
I cannot go above jalapeno. I do not see how people eat hot food like that. My mouth be on fire. Now, I tried just to make some hot sauce. Well, I wanted it was, but as far as slicing and putting on like a chili cheese hot dog or something like that, I cannot do that.
So Wow. Beyond the peppers and the corn, what else are you growing?
Cucumbers.
Uh-huh.
I want to pickling and just the regular English cucumbers for your salad.
Okay.
Tomatoes, of course. Last year my favorite tomato was that it's a golden orange tomato, but they're very, very small.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So sweet, like you can pop them off when you're out there in the yard and just put them in your mouth.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I grew some like that, and I grow these, they're called black cherry.
Uh-huh.
They're delicious too. And then I grow the yellow pear.
I could not. I saw those. I worked at those now. I saw those one day when I went to work, and I'm like, I'm gonna get them next week. Went there next week, they were gone.
Gone. Yes, they are a favorite. And then someone I know down in southern Mississippi sent me some seeds. They're called Midnight Blue.
Midnight Blue?
Uh-huh. And they were delicious too. They are like a sort of like a purple bluish color, and then the top is sort of like a star-like that's yellow, but the longer they stay on the vine, the deeper the color gets. But they were delicious too.
I want to see the tomatoes you grow in your yard are way more sweeter than the ones you get out of the grocery store.
Yes.
Like, you just can't eat them like apples.
Yes. Yes. So what else besides the tomatoes, what else are you growing?
Watermelon, of course, and cantaloupe.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Last year I grew a watermelon called Moon and Stars. It has yellow dots on it.
Oh, okay.
Like stars.
Uh-huh.
Their watermelon was so sweet. It was very sweet. And I only planted one plant of those.
Uh-huh.
It was so sweet. And of course the yellow watermelon. And then they have another one called orange something watermelon. It looked like a yellow and an orange mixed, like a light orange.
Uh-huh.
The flesh of the watermelon.
Uh-huh.
They're sweet also.
Okay. So how big do they get? And do you get really big watermelons or small?
Of course, the Moon and Stars, they're more like a round, a little bit bigger than the Sugar Baby.
Okay. Okay.
The biggest one would be the Chrism. I didn't do the real gigantic watermelon.
Okay. Okay. All right. And 2 years in a row I grew cantaloupe and watermelon, and they did great. But this new place that I moved to last year, my cantaloupe did wonderful, and I saved the seeds from previous seasons. Uh-huh. And my cantaloupe did wonderful, but I just didn't have any success with watermelon. And a friend was telling me that, there's a little lake in front of my house, and a friend was telling me that an old wives' tale was that watermelons didn't grow near water. So I don't know if that was true or not, but I'm going to try again this year. But I was so disappointed.
My house backs up on to like this huge ditch that connects to a creek.
Uh-huh.
Now, when it rains, the year before my watermelons did excellent. Last year they did okay. I got some, but when it rained a lot last year.
Yes,
It flooded the bottom of a bunch of my watermelons.
Okay.
So this year I found something on Amazon where you can have them raised off the ground. They support your watermelon off the ground. So I'm going to try it. So maybe I can have them to the end of the season. Okay.
Oh, well, Breanna, we're going to have to caucus, girl, because I'm telling you, I'm one of these people that you gotta show me, and instead of, I will research and stuff, but when it comes to like a manual or something like that, I'm terrible. You gotta show me how to do it, so we are definitely gonna have to caucus. So, do you grow okra?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
The first year I grew okra just because I did not eat it. But then
Oh,
I actually was like, I kind of liked it. It's not as slimy as I thought it was.
uh-huh.
And I like it. So the first year I only grew what two to four okra plants. Now last year I grew about 6 okra plants. I
Okay.
red variety
Yes.
and I grew the short and fat ones and a longer, more slim ones. I like those
Okay.
best, the longer, slim ones. I cannot think of the name of them, but I know one of them was the spineless.
Yeah, it might be Clemson.
Yeah, the spineless
Uh-huh.
variety. I like, but I actually like the red and the slim ones the best.
Yes. Last year I grew two different crimson color varieties, and then I did the Clemson, which is the long, slender one, and I did a second one. I mean, a fourth one. I can't remember what it was, but I last year was my first venture into doing multiple varieties, and I was pretty successful with it. So I'm gonna research and see what else. I followed this lady in Texas, uh, the Texas okra lady or something like that.
I love
Yes, yes, yes. She is so cool. And so I bought some varieties from her. And she has this Star of David one that, when you cut it, it looks like a star. So, uh, yeah, and I thought I would try that one. But yeah. So what did you say? I'm sorry.
her TikTok page. Yeah.
Yes. So how do you prepare your okra?
I I mostly fry it just for a snack.
Okay.
But I've never really put it in something.
Uh-huh.
It's always by itself when I eat it, which is weird. I know. I
Okay.
put it in something.
Okay, well, girl, you gotta put it. You gotta start putting it in something. Like making a stew, or I do gumbo, like I said, because I have a Louisiana background, family background. But I do gumbos. But I also with my garden, growing vegetables and things. I create recipes. Now don't ask me to repeat them, but it's just like, going by taste and what might go together. And it's sort of like, my philosophy of cooking what you have.
Yeah.
And so I will combine vegetables. So the tomatoes and the okra and corn, or which is like a succotash, but I might add something else that if I have zucchini, or potatoes or something, I'll combine it and make some kind of vegetable stew. And I also roast okra, and that tastes good. You just got to watch that you don't burn them. And I also eat okra raw. It tastes good. Yeah, it's crunchy. So it's like if you were eating celery or something. So it.
Now I tried it.
But yeah, so I love okra. And I know people talk about it being slimy and stuff, but I love it.
Now I learned actually from the okra lady. The longer you leave it on there, but you don't want to leave it on there too long to get too hard.
Right.
It's less slimy. If you pull it really, really soon, that's how you get that sliminess.
Okay.
On there maybe like a few days or 2-3 days longer.
Uh-huh.
It's slimy.
Okay. Well, then you really got to cook with it now. I know in the Mississippi Delta, the motto is it can be dipped, it can be fried, but you got to, you are growing so many things that you got to, your next venture has got to be into experimenting with different recipes.
Now, I forgot to mention, I'm going to grow popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Yes, popcorn. I found the seeds from Johnny Seed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have to try this.
Okay.
To see if it tastes better. I know it is going to taste better, but I got to try to grow popcorn.
Okay. And so beyond okra and cucumbers, anything else you're growing?
Sweet potatoes.
You are? Okay. Sweet potatoes with what?
And regular rusted and red potatoes.
Okay. All right. So I tried sweet potatoes last year. I got some itty bitty ones.
You have to leave them alone until almost, I let them stay out there almost to the vines dried up.
Okay.
They were huge, and I grew them in a pot for them to get that huge.
And you grow them in a pot?
Mm-hmm. I found this big, huge pot from Lowe's. It's like it looks like a barrel, and I grew my sweet potatoes in it, and they did well.
Okay. Well, I used one of those grow bags. And they grew, that but I say they were teeny, they were not that big. But I'm gonna try again. Maybe I didn't let them stay long enough because I was so excited. I kept digging my finger in there trying to figure.
Once you see the flowers on the potato and the sweet potato plant, wait a few more weeks after that, your potatoes should get huge.
Okay. All right. So anything else? It really sounds like you have a green thumb, my dear. Most definitely so. So anything else you'd like to end with? Any kind of advice you'd like to give novice growers or people who are thinking about gardening? Or
yes, to start small. If you're thinking about it, do it. Start small. Start with something that you eat, so that way you probably take care of it. And then eventually you might venture off into a big old backyard. You won't have to cut the grass anymore.
And you are feeding yourself and your family with food that you know where it came from.
Yes, that's the best part about it. Yes.
Yes, most definitely. Well, Breanna, I really appreciate you spending time with me today, and thank you very much. And now I got a gardener friend that's nearby, so we are definitely going to have to hook up. All right, so you have a good one, and thank you very much again. And later, y'all, take care and stay safe.